All right, guys, there are only two income producing properties that hit the market in South Florida today. Let's check them out. So first things first, let's go here. Look at the price per square foot. And we're gonna sort this. Man, they're both a pretty good price per square foot. So I'm excited for this one. First property up, $740,000. It's in Miami-Dade. They're currently paying almost $14,000 in taxes here. All right. And square feet, 2,664. This is a huge duplex, dude. This is a huge duplex, all right? Now, what are they collecting in rents? They say $3,000, but that sounds like the price for me for one unit. Let's double check. Now, that being said, Flood Zone X is the best kind of flood zone we could have. Let's take a look at the quality of the picture, or the quality of the property here. So the roof, it's gonna need a replacement soon, if not already. The inside needs a bit of work for sure. The floors need updating. The kitchen needs updating. The appliances need updating. You can paint those. You can paint a lot of stuff here and make it look a whole lot better. Same thing for the bathroom. This bathroom, I mean, you could maybe, yeah, look, they've painted some of these tiles over. Maybe you could give this a whole like paint job and make it look better and rent it out and start making some money. Yeah, some epoxy and some paint will go a very long way with this property. But that being said, it doesn't look all that great, especially for the price that they're asking for. Now, it's in Miami Gardens, so it's in Miami. It could rent out for a little bit more money than normal, right? And so here you have it. It's 2 3-2s. Each 3-2 is huge, 1,332 for a duplex, right? It's big. $3,000 per, right? So unfurnished. One is leased and the other one's vacant for $3,000. I think that is the max that you could get for this property, given the quality that it is. And if you can see here, guys, the median for a 3-2 in Miami-Dade is $3,000. So it's right on par. I would say that you could get more money if you just paint it, all right? But that being said, this property is $740K, duplex Miami-Dade, collecting $6K. And the returns, guys, the way that they're currently in right now are gonna be 9.8, which isn't terrible, but it's below the S&P. So why would you go through all the trouble of getting this property if it can't even match the S&P, right? It just barely might match it. So, and your taxes are definitely going to go up. So, you know, it's not, to me, it's not worth it. This property is definitely not worth it. Now, what you can do, right? If you could actually take even, I would say, maybe close to 5% of the property off. Let's see how it changes the numbers. So if you took out 40K, and just had $700,000, if you offered $700,000 for this property, now the property is looking a little bit better, okay? And the returns jump up to almost 11, all right? But that's taking off 40K, and then the returns here could be as good as 10.8%. I don't think you could really get much more for the rents. However, it's big, and so it's got a total of 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. What if you could turn that, 6 beds, 4 baths? What if you could turn that into 2-1-2-1, that's 4-2, and then like a 1-1 and a 1-1, right? And if you could do that, right, if you could find a way to do that, and you need to see the inside of the property. Unfortunately, we don't have a layout, but if you could actually do that, then what are the prices in Miami, right? And let's take a quick look here. Could you actually, so yeah, look, it says property use, 2 to 9 units, 2 living units. The question is like, it's zoned for multifamily 2 to 9 units, all right? And the guy does owe some taxes here. So he owes taxes. He's in desperate straits, sort of. So can you do something more here? Because if you could turn that into 2 1s, look at the median price for a 2-1 in Miami-Dade, $2,300, okay? $2,300. And then you're left with enough space, bedrooms and bathrooms, that you could have 2 1-1s. And if you could have 2 1-1s, then you could rent out each for $1,600, let's say. And all of a sudden, this property could give you as good as $7,800. So $7,800 with conversion, right? And then that return on investment would shoot through the roof to a 32%, right? And so that would be an amazing, amazing deal. It would require you to go see this property and see if you could do that conversion easily and not for a lot of money. But if you could do that, then the returns on investment would shoot up. So, something to consider there. Now let's go ahead, let's discard this property. which could be a great find for the right person. Find, discard, and let's keep looking. All right, cool. So this one is very interesting. Let's go here. It's a $900,000. They say it's a duplex in Miami-Dade. All right, let's put it here. 800, we're gonna say 900. All right, taxes, they're paying $13,224 a year in taxes. Square feet, 3,531 square feet. It's huge, absolutely huge. Flood zone, it's mixed AE and X, so you're gonna pay a bit of a premium there on the flood insurance. Look at the location of this property. It's right on the water. It's got this seawall, which is very concerning, but it's this huge, huge property. Humongous property. And it looks like it's some sort of like assisted living facility. It's definitely got commercial written all over it. Yep. Yeah, it's got commercial space written all over this. It's got 2 meters, and I think that's why they might have listed it as a duplex. It's got a huge backyard, huge space. All right. And look where it's at. The location is sick. Could you build a building there, right? Look, there's already multi-family housing here, commercial multifamily. Could you turn this into commercial multifamily? That's right on the river. Very interesting property. All right, let's look at the guts of this, see what the realtor says. Duplex with 8 bedrooms and 4 baths used as an ALF, assisted living facility. Yep. All right. Income producing property is currently operated as a successful ALF and leased for the next 2 years, providing immediate cash flow and excellent long-term investment potential, situated on a 10,000 square foot corner, yada, yada, yada. All right. So let's see. Do they tell us how much they're actually getting in rent? Please call for more information. Assisted living facility and zoning. It's a 4-2. So yeah, let's look at the folio number and see what it says here. Retirement property use, retirement home, healthcare, land use, healthcare, zoning, duplexes, general. Interesting. So yeah, it's actually, this is 14 units. 14 units. This is so interesting. Yeah. I mean, the question here is if we're not gonna do assisted living, it's what can you actually do with this property? Can you buy this and turn it into just a residential multifamily of 4 units? Or because it's already zoned commercial, can you turn this into something commercial? I mean, the location is not terrible. The only thing that concerns me is all this frontage, water frontage, right? And it all has the seawall, and that stuff is not cheap. So you want to know the age and the condition of the seawall here. Okay, to find out, even if the property is making a ton of money as a business, right? And that's probably why they don't put how much is making, because you never know what they're reporting on their taxes, right? They're not saying what their net operating income, what their revenues are whatsoever, because they might be reporting something completely different on taxes. You never know, right? This seawall here might be a problem that they've already identified, like coming up in the next couple of years, and they don't want to pay that, right? And so if that's been identified by a non-government agency, right, just they did privately, and there's no way for us to know about it, they don't, they could just say, if like, why didn't you report it? They could be like, hey, like, I don't know, maybe I did order it, but I never saw the report, or it got lost under the desk, whatever the case might be. So you want to do your own inspection here. But very interesting property. It's not, unfortunately, just a duplex. It's an ALF. It's just in the form of a duplex. But does it have potential? Yeah, it just, you would need to look at the area, see what the county allows you to do. Can you turn this into 4 units? Can you turn it into a commercial 5 unit, right? I mean, the amount of space here, you could probably do 5 or 6 units. I mean, 8 bedrooms and 4 baths, right? Like that could be like, the most amount of money would be if you just turn that into like 4-2-1s. Let's see. Yeah, 4-2-1s. And if you turn that into 4-2-1s, guys, then let's say 2,300 and 2,300 here, $9,200 a month. This property could give you returns if you could do that. If you could do like all this movement, it's a 1% property. It could create $9,200, which the returns on investment there would be fantastic. It would be like 25 point something percent. But again, this requires a major conversion. And he doesn't look like he's in distress. He doesn't have like back taxes owed. Now, can you take off some money here? Yeah, you could maybe take off a bit of money because you're gonna have to tell this guy like, hey, I'm gonna have to do all this other work to fix it. How much do I think that you could probably take off? Again, it really depends on like what you're able to do here, you know, and he definitely knows what he's gonna be able to do with this property and what you're gonna be able to do. You just gotta find out so that, you know, you could have the best leverage possible. But, you know, assuming that you could change everything, you gotta tell him like, hey, it's gonna cost me, I don't know, 100 grand to make all the changes to make this more profitable for me. Maybe you could take off 100 grand. Man, if you could take off 100 grand, this property could give you a 41% return if you could drop 100, right? If and only if. So with that being said, guys, those are the 2 properties for today. 2 very interesting properties on Sunday. That doesn't usually happen, but glad to see that happen. So, all right, guys, have a great day, and we will see you on Monday.